For over 7 years now, I've been delivering with DoorDash, and I just hit 18,000 deliveries. And I've been questioning lately, when is it really time to quit? Is it 19,000, 20,000? Never? You know, it's very interesting when you think back of all the deliveries you've done on DoorDash. I've seen the crazy, I've seen the insane, I've seen DoorDash change so many times I can't even count. And the thing with DoorDash, it's never in the favor of the driver when they do any changes. When you think about it, I started when base pay was $5. Today we're down to $2 per order. I've seen the app interface change, screens. Oh my God, home screens just got changed. There was the old screen, there's the new screen. It's very interesting to think back on the past 7 years. But on a good, positive note, DoorDash has been a steady stream of income, and it can be for any part-time driver out there, any full-time driver out there, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, and there will always be highs and lows to what you do every single day. But when I was thinking the other day, when I hit that 18,000 mark, how long do I keep doing DoorDash? How long do I go to 19,000, 20,000, 30,000? Do I just do this forever? Oh, I don't want to do this forever. But what was my plan? Am I sticking to my plan? Now, I am very humbled that I make money off of YouTube, and I have you guys as a community who watches me every single day. And I've always had a plan. I've always had side businesses. But when do I start to back away from DoorDash and start focusing on other things? And that's what usually goes through my mind when I hit milestones with DoorDash. But DoorDash is also a source of income for me. So what is my exit strategy? What happens? And it got me thinking, if I'm thinking this way, how many other dashers are thinking tomorrow's the day I'm going to quit? Or I'm going to quit at 5,000 deliveries. I'm giving myself 5 years and I'm out. Everybody has their own goals. Do you have an exit strategy for DoorDash? Go ahead. Let me know. Or you might be a lifer. Who knows? In today's video, we're going to really dive into why dashers do quit DoorDash, because I see almost every single day, this is why I don't do DoorDash anymore. Well, I quit DoorDash a month ago. I quit DoorDash a year ago. But there are many reasons why people don't stick around and do DoorDash long term, and we're going to get into that. And then we're going to talk about when should you actually quit, if you're going to quit at all. And then we're also going to think, are you a lifer? Are you meant to be doing DoorDash? Is it your goal to do DoorDash for a long period of time? So that's kind of what we're going to get into, and we're going to do it right now. So why do dashers quit DoorDash altogether? Well, there are so many reasons. Honestly, that's kind of scary that I can come up with so many reasons, I have to tell you. But the first thing I thought of, because it happened this week, man, the app is frustrating as all heck. And I just did a video about this the other day. I got throttled. DoorDash was just giving me just crap orders, and I was getting so frustrated. But I kind of managed through it, and finally DoorDash came back to the way that it normally operates for me. But at that point, I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to do DoorDash any longer, which kind of brings me to the next thing. People find different apps, they multi-app, and then they realize that another app might be performing better in their market, and they're like, DoorDash who? I'm making this up, Uber Eats, or I have Grubhub. even though, are there too many drivers who do full Grubhub a lot? Anyway, my point is people shy away from DoorDash because they find better apps out there that work better in their market and can give them more money. That's another thing. I mentioned it earlier in this video, there are constant app updates, which also makes it frustrating. You never know what's coming and going, and if you don't stay on top of updates with DoorDash, you can be left not making money and really not understanding what's going on. Some Dashers just don't agree with DoorDash. I am somewhat in this category. I always say they make me the most amount of money, but I don't agree with their business practices. And a lot of times I don't agree with the changes, or I don't agree with their policies. There are many things that DoorDash does wrong in my eyes, but because they make money, I stick around. But other Dashers just might not agree and just say bye. Next is, you're not making as much money any longer. Let's face it, we're all businessmen and women out there, right? We're here to make money. The minute you start to see your money dwindling down, is it worth going out there? And that's another thing. You have to think, is DoorDash, is it enough for me just to go out for, if you're part-time, an hour, 2 hours, or do I want to just sit at home because the money I'm going to make isn't worth going out any longer? Some Dashers just go back to a regular W-2 job, especially if you're doing this full time. Others have W-2 jobs to begin with, and honestly, I fell in this category when I first started DoorDash and I was doing this part-time. Like, nah, I'm not going out tonight. I would rather spend time with my family and be home and watching TV. For me, the tier program ruined the way I saw DoorDash, and it ruined the way I look at things. I think they ruined the app altogether with the tier program. At least that's my opinion. You can agree or disagree. You can let me know in the comments. But who really wants to work a tier system that you have to maintain an acceptance rate in order to see some of the bigger payouts? Like, is it actually truly worth it? And I think that is the biggest question a lot of Dashers ask themselves before quitting DoorDash. Is it worth doing DoorDash any longer? That's plain and simple. So when should you quit? Honestly, that's everybody's individual decision. I can't tell you when to quit or what makes up your decisions. But for me, the biggest one is if the money can't sustain your living expenses any longer. To me, that's a pretty big thing. If you're doing this for a purpose and you're not hitting your goals because you're not making your money, it might be time to cut your losses and bounce. I said this earlier, you should quit when you really are dead set against or don't agree with DoorDash's business practices. Hey, maybe you just found your absolute dream job. Maybe it gave you a boost in pay and you're like, DoorDash, who? I don't need to do this any longer. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be great if everybody found their dream job and was doing something they love every single day? You can start your own business. That's a good thing. I mean, maybe you're doing DoorDash to start your own business and you finally saved enough money and you finally got your business up and running all on the backs of DoorDash. God, that would be an amazing success story if you ask me. But bottom line is everybody's decisions are different, right? Everybody has their own reasons for quitting DoorDash. Everybody has their own reasons for when they quit DoorDash and why. I can't tell you what that is because you need to make those decisions for you. I know for me, I have my own plan. I had my own plan going into this. I'm still executing my plan even to this day. And, DoorDash isn't my only source of income, which makes me very fortunate and very humble that I get to do this every single day. I talk about flexibility a lot, and what flexibility do you really have if you have to schedule? But all jokes put aside, it allows me to focus on family. It allows me to focus on building my other businesses. It allows me so much that I wouldn't be able to do unless I worked DoorDash, which is why I continue to still do it. I continue to still make my money, which is always a bonus. And yes, I deal with DoorDash and their antics, but I see the bigger picture because I have bigger goals that I'm trying to achieve personally and professionally. So here's a question for you. Are you a lifer? Are you a DoorDash lifer? You know you are going to be doing this for the long haul. I know a lot of people who get that independent contractor bug that enjoy being their own boss, enjoy coming and going as they please, enjoy the benefits, and sometimes the benefits outweigh the negative behind what we do. And it makes them say, yeah, no, I'm never going back to a regular standard job, W-2 job, ever again. You might be that person. There are plenty of dashers out there that feel the same way. You're just going to have to let me know if you're one of them, and it's perfectly fine. The thing is everybody is in a different stage in their life. Everybody's financial situation is different. Everybody is their own individual. And it all comes down to adulting and making your own decisions and making the best decisions for you and hopefully having a plan behind them. So here's 18,000 deliveries. Who knows how many more? Is it 19? Is it 20? Is it 30? I can't tell quite yet, but you'll be the first to know. I talked earlier in this video that I actually got throttled by DoorDash this past week, and it was frustrating as all heck. Has this ever happened to you? Well, you're going to want to check out all the details and what to do if it does in this one up next, and I'll see you over there.